little girl, if you haven't met her, you definitely want to do that. She will bring some sunshine to your day. We're going to take a minute to look this up.
Give it back. I would.
Yes. Okay, my apologies for that. Okay, so let's welcome Lily Howard. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. I'm Penny Howard, mom to Harper, CDKL 5 Angel, age 6. Steph and biggest sister Lily, who you just met. In many ways, our story begins similar to yours. We had a seemingly perfect family. Seizures started. A diagnosis was found, and there was no known cure, which meant years of chasing a better quality of life in a race against time. Memories were all a blur. Thank goodness for pictures to capture those moments that our exhausted minds had forgotten. In our journey, we have been presented with many situations we never expected to face with our children. From the time Harper was born, even before we stepped into this world with special needs, everybody in our family had responsibilities, including Lily. She claimed hers as pacifier place at the age of 2. Anytime Harper needed her passy, she would stop everything to make sure that Harper was taken care of. Very shortly after that, she moved on to more challenging responsibilities such as bottle feedings and, sadly, seizure watch. We allowed and encouraged Lily to learn to do everything she wanted in managing Harper's care. We wanted her to never resent Harper, and we are very proud of the young individual she's become. During the last 6 years, we were presented with many difficult decisions. The first was whether or not to resuscitate Harper should she ever stop breathing. Originally, we decided not to resuscitate until one day we were faced with this reality, and we realized that that was not for us. And that's okay, because there's one thing that all of us have already learned, and right answer in dealing with special needs. In addition to mixed feelings on DNRs, during different states of mental exhaustion, there may be misconceptions about the reality of life support and biobanking. In our circumstance, it was not as though Harper was with us 1 minute and gone the next with no time to emotionally connect. When she was put on life support, we were able to see and speak to her prior to them putting her in a medically induced coma. We were able to see her sassy responses to our discussion with her, as was the PQ nurse who was chuckling, which made her heart feel good. We allowed life support in an effort to help her body heal.
Unfortunately, she was too sick.
Donating Harper's organs was something we had thought about for 2 years.
And thanks to IFCR, this is an option that we now all have.
We first spoke with her epileptologist, and then later with Dr. Catherine Frame, IFCR president. Unlike a will or DNR, there's no paperwork that you can put on file for this, so this was something that we had to always remember and keep in the back of our mind during our worst nightmare. Being the first to wade through the process was difficult, but there were many people in place to help us make sure that this challenging situation was done successfully. And it's important that you know that there are a lot of people in place to help you. The brain bank is in Boston, and they send their own representative to collect the samples and return to the lab. The tissue donation was a little bit more challenging for us. We had to know that our tissue was needed based on our specific mutation, and that there was someone capable of collecting it and preserving it so that we could then ship it to the lab in San Diego. Again, the most important thing that you need to understand in all of this is that doctors and hospitals won't stop trying to save the life of your child just because you're born. As a matter of fact, when we told the doctors that Harper was an organ donor, their response to us was, we want to try this first so that we don't have to do that. But when they had exhausted all their medical abilities to save her life, they let us know, and they simultaneously unhooked her from everything so that we could hold her at the very end. When Harper passed away, they did not whisk her from our arms because we were donating organs. From her time of death, we had a 6-hour window to get her body in the morgue, and then a 24-hour window to collect the organs. We actually got to mourn the loss of Harper for 4 hours while we held her and bathed her. And then we had to put all that on hold and make sure that all the opportunities were fulfilled for biobanking. We donated her brain, her tissue, and her blood to scientific research. It was a very intense process. But the hospital was extremely helpful, as was the IFCR board during this time-sensitive moment for our family. It's important that you remember that IFCR board is made up of families just like you and me, and that they're here for you during every phase of your journey through the CDKL5 disorder. The collecting of samples does not leave your child in pieces like your heart is after
her death. The funeral home allowed us to see her one more time, and she was beautiful. We could have had an open casket funeral if we wanted to, but we already knew that we wanted her cremated. It's inevitable that every family's choices and experiences will be different. There may be things that you cannot possibly plan for or predict. And my hope is that seeing a small piece of our journey, this group is a family, related by disorder, and held together with hope. Whether your child is with you or in heaven, Harper's physical presence has transformed, leaving a piece of our hearts broken. But our journey and hers with CDKL5 moves forward. We stand with your continued fight for hope and love.